Broadcasting. Unity Broadcasting.
Unity Broadcasting Television don't come for unify, sensitize, and inform Salon people home and abroad. Unity Broadcasting TV don't come for developments now we countries. Unify, sensitize, and inform we all. For developments now we nations Salon. Unity Broadcasting TV don't come for developments now we countries. Unify, sensitize, and inform we all. For developments now we nations Salon. We now independent media house. We dey here for unify, sensitize, and inform Sierra Leoneans home and abroad.
We dey here so for talk, but wetin dey happen? Political discussion.
You for know about Salon politics.
Religious messages, entertainment self no go left again.
We no go left nothing behind, no. Unity Broadcasting TV don't come for developments now we countries. Unify, sensitize, and inform we all. For developments now we nations Salon. Unity Broadcasting TV don't come for developments now we countries. Unify, sensitize, and inform we all. For developments now we nations Salon.
This not the thing them where we dey talk about
Sierra Leone political history,
defeating the lives of fake people.
waiting they be on social media.
One-on-one interview we go bring you.
So we listeners and supporters and fans and Unity Broadcasting. We tell God thank you for another best day today. We're Tuesday, September 14, 2021. The program on the watch so where they give the political history. They come to a live, like I say, from Unity Broadcasting. And una presenter na Kutubu. Waiting around invite Nana for join we una can call we na we WhatsApp na 1 and Nana +1 346 4936 503 una can call we there later on who are open up. And then of course una go follow we una click and like in Facebook, una will see we there also. Then, of course, within our YouTube also, where we will see there. So please, follow me there, click and like, and follow me. We look forward to seeing that because it's an interactive, discussion what we can get. The first thing what they can talk about today, their listeners, now waiting happened today in Salon, where they caught for the longest time, as we know, the third branch of government. When at the judicial as an arm of arm, Salinas does not seem to be satisfied with how it operates. We get this, doubt about them. We get cases and when they go to court, it take forever. We see how they give double justice there. You will get a case go. They will use this. They will rule for you. Then they rule for that same person. You will see lawyer. Then the lawyer they defend you now. Then they defend the opponent. So all of them three are there. And the argument simply is for the three branches of government where they go. The legislative arm of government, the judicial arm of government, and the executive part of them. If any of them two then go bad, mostly the legislative arm of government go bad, the executive arm go bad, the one will not go bad. Now, in the third one, we are the judicial part of it. Here's the reason. We're very simple. Now, in the act as a custodian, that now in the act as a bastion of a constitutional liberty. When we get problem with anybody, either with the government or with my neighbor, with any other person, we get for good day. And we go there, we expect for get justice. That means they call it equal law, equal justice. But for the longest time, we can think about this over happen. But something happened today. We don't know whether this waiting happened today. Now waiting happen na what you call it na South Africa. Now in the judge they said on the beginning they say, we need for a sacrifice. I mean the activism of the judicial system will start today. I want to thank that judge. They very, very, very sincerely. That judge where issue a order for let them arrest Mr. Tambadauda, where na the managing director for the lands and survey business. Now him, why make they say they for arrest them? Simply waiting happen in South Africa now in Dula Salon, where the court sent column in Ogigode. It treat the court with contempt. When you treat the court with contempt, now a very serious thing, you they pervert justice. You they should say you they above the country because they can lay out the framework now. When all is said and done, the court the final arbiter, the rule of law by way of the courts, it be past anybody from we leader take and down, from the man take and down. We all get for the under the law. We not go the above the law. Nobody not foresee in office is so high or in personality is so high to the extent in consider it says in the above the law. No, that's not the work. Not the work. So waiting this judge do today when they order the arrest and detention of Tambadauda. Now this the Christian people they say to God be the glory, we gladly for us. The hope is this is a new trend. This is a renaissance. This is an awakening for the judicial system for let them also take a role in the task of nation building in governance. And President Bio don't come talk see, he get for fight corruption, which is fine. But the question though, how he expect for fight this corruption, yes, he get for rely on mechanisms where will help and enforce, the fight against corruption. And with the mechanism, not only the court of law, only na the court, where people are held accountable. I not can let for only stock when another, do really comparative analysis. When I can let for talk about the greatness of the United States, the exceptionalism of the United States, the moral and the high ground we stand on, the ethical foundation and the foundation and the moral high ground winning that waiting actually mean that about that because then decide for be a nation of laws, not to a nation of man. The law big past everybody. And like start the argument, this night fundamentally absent as that one. If you get a case, sometimes you go just see one big man take the phone, he call the judge. Oh, that case said that I get interested, therefore that I die so. So this now we only get for the longest time. People are not getting justice. If you see all the unrest in the country, the rancor the incrimination all they emanate from the fact say people in office say that they get justice at the place. They can say you get somebody go to court. All you need for you for go by, now go win the case. You they win case not because of the merit. And wouldn't they suffer more, especially like a where they come up over where they go. And this Tambadauda, where God made the arrest today when they go lock them up, and they work at the lands ministry, when I in the director of the and time and again the names they don't come up for corruption, the names they don't come up for people they land they don't come up. Him you get Vandy whatever it is, you get about 6 or 7 of them. When the names they don't come up. Where every now and then they complain. Even when the minister Dr. Tua Senesi, don't give them instructions then for work towards people, them land business for they know they do. They know they start papers on people there. When the minister say do something, then they do they know they do. They know this. So they wonder what kind of a society that would be where even the superior officers them will give you instructions you don't carry out. Now then they say the citizen when we be they come up, when a minister for the minister now minutes in a minute something to you. When it don't minute or not to you, by the time where he open the eye, we don't set your opener, what you want for only night table. No minister, then tell them when we get people like RBS Coker, MS Mustafa, them, Kande Bwede, HB John, John Carifa Smart, them, RGOK, G. Dixon Thomas, DL Somna, all of them kind of people in there, because in them say they see the aura of personality on them people in there. When they say this man a minister, so when he give you something for you, and in most cases they even they reach to the minister said, because you get structures, you get foundation, you get codes, you get the thing them where they govern the civil service out that they work. So everybody, in fact, they call it the general order. What did the general order say? What you do? So everybody they go back. This is the time that we'll get a nation where we believe in the rule of law, where everybody know in place in the scheme of things. But these days, anybody do anything no more. Anything. So now that may where we hear it today say this judge he ordered the arrest and detention of Mr. Tambadauda. That become a big thing. Not to come on request, I mean, don't get people they just send to me, just send to, hey, well, Kutubu, you need to talk about this. Hey, Kutubu, do this. Kutubu, need that people that you need to talk about today. Now look at it, no, I said, well, okay, this is not about Kutubu at all. This is not, like I tell anybody, this is not about Kutubu. It is about a mission. We all, just like the president, not the president say, it account for fight corruption. So we all, as citizens, we get a role for playing in a nation in socio-economic, political, and cultural upliftment. We all, in any way, for help the country. Because at the end of the day, though, when all is said and done, when we get good governance in the country, everybody the benefit of everybody. But we'll get bad governance by way of corruption. Everybody will suffer because the argument stands corruption and egregious human rights violation. When you engage in corruption, they deny people the things that we do them. And that's not good at all. It's not good at all. It's not good. You violate people their rights. You violate their rights to waiting it belongs to them. Waiting it due them. All of these things. So the way the president comes in, the government also is this. How do you think with this? Cases and where you get for camp before them, then get for make sure say those cases are disposed of, rapidly. Because in law, you get what you call justice delayed, justice denied. And when you deny justice, also that again, the society they suffer, we deny justice. So now that make when cases they come, if I let them try hurry up and litigate the matters and they dispose of them equitably and according to what the law say. This is what now the role of the judge that the role of the judge, the which don't have court, they apply the law. For that money, now the president in border, or that money, now the minister for foreign affairs, or the minister of trade and industry that they so no. Now they say there's a simple dictum now say the law is no respect of anybody. The law not respect nobody. It not respect nobody in office. It not respect you age. They not even respect you age. It let you own it Methuselah. Now they say innocence of the law not to excuse. So a nation will only go before when they decide for one we believe in the fundamental tenets of the rule of law, where the judicial system will work, one that where the citizens they get forget faith in them, they get forget confidence in them, they get forget trust in them. So justice cannot only be said to be done, but it has to be seen to be done. So now like waiting happen today. The hope now is waiting happen today will begin send a message to everybody. Say the courts they not decide for change the modus operandi. The courts they not decide now say going forward. Now a renaissance this going forward, then they stick with a role as the arbiter of laws. Now they will make sure say our laws are enforced regardless of who that he is. This will happen today. We for tell the judge will do this. The hope is the magistrates MO and the other judge will say, and the lawyers them also get a role now for playing. The lawyer also not part of the problem. Yes, so they are part of the problem. The hope now is there is now going to be a way forward out of this quagmire where the nation will find itself under the cocoon of darkness, all because of the seeming logic of lawlessness that the place where nobody not respect the law. If we then will not respect the law, then we cease to be a nation of civilized people. Then the only thing where they hold we together now the law, now the glue, now like I say, now the ethical foundation, now the moral compass, now the glue, now in the society you cannot talk of any society where law not to society that. Now, an animal farm mentality, that a jungle mentality, that. So, like I say, this the first aspect of today's podcast. They can commend the judge for where he hold Tambadauda accountable for his misdeeds. And this one, remember, whatever case they on that, just like in the case of the Kobzuma, that not they come up here to the disrespect where he showed the court. I mean, the whole for contempt of court. Contempt of court are very serious finally. Now, a disrespect of the entire jurisprudence of the nation. The whole laws on which the nation they strive on now, you alone decide for challenge, you alone decide for disrespect. And of course, we hear that again, where, and as Michael Matok say, no courts no go, force her for doing anything. No, you cannot make that statement. Some of us, we are shocked when people don't come for denounce them for that. No, you've been president in the country. You did swear to uphold uphold the law. So you cannot now come to say, no courts don't go, force you for do something. No, you cannot say that. The court get powers there for force you for do something. But the hope is, waiting the Georgia do today, the message is said very loud and clear. The hope is, it go resonate with everybody. This guy for be across the board. That goes for even them people that were inside this administration also. Not to only for we the ordinary people them, or for opposition people them, even for government people them. Where there's breach of laws, where there are infractions of principles them, the courts therefore be prepared for hold violence and the account, regardless of who that you be, therefore hold you accountable. Only when they do that across the board, we will probably say we are a nation of laws. So with that, I can go to the second topic, where everybody, as everybody they gloat in them. Everybody they gloat in them. Waiting happen Guinea. I say everybody, Sierra Leone, everybody they gloat. To the extent we are even when they contribute me or comment say that becomes something everybody's asking for. Kutubu, one year that you audio will be make that silent talk forum one player, once you hit the point. Yes, you get for be intellectually honest, you get for be morally sound, for talk the things and not to waiting they resonate with people they know. Now make they appeal to the calculus of the politicians. Waiting good, now they do. You take a principled position, and then you do. And the question where anybody for ask, we need any military rule within the with democratic process. We need that. The answer now two-way. Yes, we need that, or no, we don't need that. So let me go to the no part, why we don't need that. And why a good number of countries, and it don't go happen there. More say a country like America, a country like England, a country like France, a country like Germany, and all Israel, Australia, all them places, it don't go happen there. So now they know that. The reason why it don't go happen there, first, they believe one thing, when a firm foundation say, when you talk about democracy, now government for the people, by the people, existing with the legitimate consent of the government, that we, when they govern, we. Who that get the power? Now me, you. Now we get the power. We, the ordinary citizens, we, the downtrodden, because that be ballot paper will they take vote. We'll go here inside that box. Now, it will determine who that will lead we. Therefore, anybody who sit on that power, you get for sit on them as a result of the fact that the people that reaffirm their faith in the validity of the sanctity of the ballot box. So when you don't sit on there, because of the people that make the sit on there, then they give you a time where you sit on there. Because one thing we get for reckon with, we for be part of we thinking is that when you sit on a power, then you know they didn't say that. No. You get limits. There's limits. Now they call term limit. For example, more saying that the presidency of the country, and the presidency of any country get term we did it. In most cases, they did two terms. In fact, because of the enormity of the powers of the presidency, especially what we see in America, they made the Jamaica for 4 years. In a parliamentary democracy, you can make them 5 years because people get for those. There's a distinction between a parliamentary democracy, where you get a prime minister and cabinet ministers and honor MPs. You only go to the get from independence. Say we bring out to 1971, where Shaka Stevens changed the trajectory of governance. Okay? Prior to that, now be a parliamentary democracy, where leader you go there as long as one, but with the understanding you particular for always win election, and you particular for elect you as a leader. I can give you an example. That mean Germany, it don't left now. 16 years now is spending in office as chancellor, Angela Merkel. Not to forsake now the first issue for the no. Now a parliamentary democracy immediate, meaning that every 5 years or every other they call them in parliament, the Bundestag or whatever they call them, they hold elections every 5 years. Now everybody in the parliament, you're a meeting. Everybody they go for election. Just like Canada. Just like any other side where they practice parliamentary democracy, they go in. So if you're the leader, you get the support of your party people, and that first they elect you, the party. When they elect you, then you they lead the party to elections. So by political automaticity, when you now win, you don't become prime minister, and you will. But there's also a caveat to that. If I know we use this today for actually offer some lectures to people there. In as much as you will get for day for 5 years, but there is no guarantee say you go there up to 5 years. Here is how. You sit on as prime minister, because the parliamentary democracy, they actually come with a prime minister, although some other countries they will get like Germany like chancellor, but at the same as prime minister. You know, they see it. Now, here is what will happen. When you sit down there as the prime minister or the leader of the majority party in the parliament, you sit down one day, is subject to how much support you will get among your fellow MPs. I can give you an example. A good number of them will not be done born yet, or even the way will be done born, will not be follow waiting happened in 1967 when Albert Magai became in power. That's in the parliamentary democracy will be gone. Who that put Albert Magai? What of us na APC pulam? Now get the mind. Now EU MPs and EU parliamentary members and now they withdraw their support from them, and they withdraw. He don't get the support. So obviously, that created the vacuum for APC for win. In your APC 4, I can name them for now. Kutubu Kaisamba, Luceni Biwa, Jamie Francis, Saleh Justushe, Sunday, March 19, 1967, Nakenima. 4 guys that said they don't support him. That was the end of Albert Magai in prime ministership, as well as in leadership of the party. Now, Lord juxtapose that to what they happen now within APC. Because they don't, we don't metamorphose to, a presidential system of governance. It's very difficult for them, remove, the president, no more by parliamentary, you get for go to what they call impeachment. Impeachment. So this accounts for the difficult. So the question what they ask, if we in Africa, we this type of government, we need presidential form, system of governance. Make it say almost instantly, we don't need them. What do we need for bring stability in Africa and parliamentary democracy, like quoting again in England? So one of the MPs who can get rid of a prime minister anytime when I want, one officer they work right, or if they use power we're not supposed for them. It happened in England. Margaret Thatcher got removed by Uda. Now one person had a column, a finance minister, Nigel Lawson. It happened to this guy, Tony Blair. Uda orchestrated downfall in finance minister, Gordon Brown. On and on NCLA. But now be a parliamentary and even be a presidential system and we want it will be difficult for them to pull up that way. So now when they take this to when they don't happen at Guinea, it will be very difficult for Alpha Condé and Michael Mao and then President Bio, Nana Addo, Akufo-Addo, President Buhari. It's very difficult for pull them and with the type of government the way they run, because now a presidential system of governance where give a lot of power. The only way we they go put any of their leaders there now to impeachment. Without an impeachment, you don't go pull them people there. Now in Guinea, Mr. Condé don't they in power 110 to 10. What he do? He try for amplify the constitution, even though. If some of you be hearing me, I can't denounce. I denounce ECOWAS and AU. I call them hypocrites. I do it because they system will not work an accord among themselves. Say, we need for hold back on this military intervention in the politics. We need for put safeguards in place. So the safeguards already in place. When forget time limits, and this time limits therefore be observed. When you time not done, you for demit, meaning that you will left the office. And when you hold election, it for be an election with free and fair. Because when you do all of that, you hold free and fair elections. Time limit you observe. No military no go take over. No way. When I get a very independent judiciary. L'equity happened in Malawi when they hold election or whatever it was, when they find out the election that were fraud, the court overturned the elections. They did. They overturned the elections. All that have become an independent judiciary. So when I get all the components today, military no go seize power because basis not it. The military always they look for the least advantage. Mr. Condé John like Museveni na Uganda, Alassane Ouattara na Ivory Coast, and Paul Biya na Cameroon, and also Ali Bongo na Gabon. They all don't decide for open up the constitution against waiting the time minister. For example, Mr. Museveni na the 6th term, this don't get now. And when they open the constitution, now violence, because the citizens said, no, we don't want this. No, they're standing, they know it. So what they do, then they deploy the security forces them against the citizen. And the role of the security forces, the armed forces, they all role under the constitution. Now for preserve or protect the territorial integrity of the sovereign nation, against the expansionist, designs and people they waiting for grab lands and one go kapu, other people in their own country. They don't know that they don't get any role in politics. The armed forces cannot be loyal to the government of the day. No, you get to be loyal to the sovereign nation, and that goes for the police. The police cannot be the police force of either SLPP or APC. No. The police force has to be that for the people of Salion. That means they call it Salion police force. The army therefore be loyal to the people of Salion. That means they call it the public of Salion armed forces, not to the president, neither not to the other. So all of them shall be in a. So therefore, the army and the police therefore be very neutral in nature. So neutrality make then people then na Guinea Colonel Dumbuya they go they remove Mr. Conde because they don't say Conde not only violate the constitution but he also violate the human rights of the citizens and they kill people. Then ECOWAS be aware of this, but ECOWAS not ever say anything before that they go for inauguration and go there. They don't say anything. Don't let they put Paribu say, Uda he pieces now Watanoba get trouble. You go pull and they get in trouble. When even they violate people, they rights them, they don't say nothing. They remain quiet. When the citizens then through the lawyer armed forces, they're not moving for trial for restore civility and resolve the constitutional right and now they can. So I strongly denounce President Bio and the foreign minister are really go for them. I really denounce them. Denouncing has been very big hypocrites and even to say they know they're in the moral position for condemn what happened in South Africa and now Guinea. They know they're in that position because they knew what the man was doing. So what we need for do now for encourage Mr. Dumbuya at a point in time, let in people them the government where they are now, let them try establish structures then where go make they return the country to civilian rule based on the kind of constitution where go get what you call separation of powers. You don't go to the denial. You get the executive branch, you get the judicial branch, and you get the legislative branch where they co-equal them, where they checkmate each other. We don't want any kind of system where one, as they see in the African countries, the executive branch is more powerful. And the 16th century philosophers, people like Charles II, that's what they call Baron Montesquieu, the great French jurist, Ian, the great English philosopher, then John Locke. Then they sit down, they look at them, say people they exercise too much power. So they need for divine power. Now that makes things like the Magna Carta coming in the 12th century, where in fact King John, young people they rebel against that. Part they go to they call Runnymede in England for let them go force her for let it sign. How they call it say for limit in power. You get for limit power. Because when people they get too much power, they become corrupt. Absolute power, they make people. So what we need for do as I wrap this part of the discussion, we pray God out and Colonel Dumbuya don't come, he can't good intention. Let God let the guided with good intention. He can't for free the people then, from the grips of totalitarian madness. Let God help them. Let them try to establish structures, frameworks, and so that they will return the country to a democratic, government where they on the rule of law. Again, like I say, where they separate powers. One man for you imagine as a be all and end all the alpha and omega. Now in the society or the society. No. One man cannot become the society. Neither the society cannot become one man. So this time we say that talk about which. So I can tell anybody the Mr. Colonel Dumbuya in taking over a justified event. Justified because the citizens they not be get no way today. They not be get no other option. They not be get up. So this is where the incursion of the armed forces can be welcome. You can they temporarily then they can't stop guard measure where it can they can quick lay the structures and the foundation and then return the country to democratic government. So if I want to take a small break, walk out for the final part now. There you guys can call in now. We'll come back because I want to get a small musical break. Then I can call in, with their comments and whatever I get for. So back to you guys at the studio. When coming into Unity Broadcasting, like I say, una can hit we like, una go now with Facebook, una hit the like button, una go now with YouTube, get a very big YouTube something. At the point in time, we really will forget and the other platforms that we open by God power as we go along there. Then I will come back and begin our number when I +1 346 496 503 and when I can call, you guys can call in now, the line open. So at the point in time, I can pause and I make a comment, or ask questions, as we go along. So we go to the third one, where none of this academic fraud. Yeah, that put in that context, we don't take a grip in the firmament of the nation. The question we will ask ourselves, whose side you don't reach now? How we get to this point where even in the area of academia, corruption, because the reason where this it look very scary, the people that really listen, we need to forget an enlightened society. If we get for play we role for make we country a just and egalitarian society, where we all get little and that's the way we contribute towards the task of nation building. First, we get for objectify ourselves in the breastplate of integrity, the armor of discipline, and the sword of service and selflessness. How does they come about? They come to intellectual attainment, although that in itself not the B and A not to them, but we get because if you not get an informed society, you not get an enlightened society, that now a national security threat, the citizens they not will know or they not be able to make any meaningful contribution. So, but for let that happen, we get the people, like we say, they get for be suitably educated in different spheres of life, where nine they care, the country go before. I'm glad the way me fiat Diana politics, I mean history that they did, and I took back to history again. When we come up in the 60s, we began from class 1 to standard 6, and they call it SP1. When they take common entrance from standard 5 and standard 6, when we call it common entrance, and you get about 2 or 3 schools away they put it. So hopefully you do well by the thing. So tell you first school we put it, they take you, they go there. And the good thing about we old time, we not enough where we go school, where people them in day, we get quite administrators. In most of the schools in there, you take like both schools, so you may get per hole in there. You go CKC, you may get Father Lamb. You go St. Edwards, you may get Father Mokai. You go convent, you get Sister Teresa. You come Prince of Wales School, you get Mr. Rogers. You go grammar school, you get Mr. Frank Wood. And if the few Africans that we did, they are top notch. You go Albert Academy, you get Mr. Max Baylor. You go Methodist Boys High School, you get Pa Malin, you get Pa Malin. And all that. So there was such discipline in their school and because of the kind of administrators. They just see papers when they did. When the invigilators encounter the paper, for now they own this and any county. And not only that, mostly they will take one invigilator from Prince of the School, they can't go to Albert Academy, they will take the man from Albert Academy, they can't go to Methodist Boys High School. They be the area, so you don't know nobody. When they count the paper, they turn and fish down. So you know, go touch that paper, you know, go touch them until the invigilators, etc. Wait on them. The first thing where they read, some of us remember that instruction, they still remember. He did it. He said, marks will be given for orderly presentation of materials. And an GC paper, all of them. because some of we make sure we read it and keep an amendment. Candidates who neglect those essentials should be penalized. Meaning that even as you answer the questions, if you not drop in the other way from drum, you lose marks. You lose marks. Even when you answer the question. So the question of academic cheating, spying, getting paper leakages, very unheard of. Totally unheard of. People may pass exams because of the effort where they put the effort. Leakage is not taken, not the way they go buy question paper then or somebody eat it. No. When some they say this person gets mostly advanced level, so GCA level, he get distinction, he get outstanding performance. Believe me, it was true that the person even made it. These days, unfortunately, one way they listen to me now, Salute Forum, where they deal with issues coming in analysis. And they deal with land business, and the land. People they land them, where they grab, we don't throw while in the salon. So they do send papers to me. And they read papers and even lawyers them. And they read the paper they do. I get the whole section of me where I'm looking for legal work, where connecting them. I can read most of them briefings a day. I can wonder now lawyer they write the kind of papers so lawyers. Who's law school where certify some of them people that will give a certificate for practice law. I mean the talk about grammatical construction we not anything we go home write home about. Arranging words there. Will make any sense at all. They see no cohesive argument. They see things they hold, they jive together. You wonder, people they come, they say they go to the highest classes and way the secondary school they offer. Then they come with all of this high sounding, applied maths, you get A, pure maths, you get A, chemistry, you get A, physics, you get A, Latin, you get A, French, you get A, this you get A. But then people they get all the, but then when you put them to the task, people are not able to perform. So you wonder how then this person get all this kind of a high sounding, how they call it, how you get this? Well, it's a point now. Corruption as you don't so much take a firm grip that the political firmament of the nation.
Kutubu, you have
no side, no day way.
Kutubu, you have a call.
Our caller, good afternoon. Which side they call from? Welcome to Unity Broadcasting. What's your name? Which side they call from, sir? Which is the topic today?
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Hello.
Yes, sir. Wait.
Yeah. My name David.
Yes, sir. Turn your radio down. Turn your radio down because they pick up the echo. Turn your system down. Will they pick the echo?
Am I okay?
Yes. Yes, Mr. David. Yes, sir.
Is it okay now?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Professor Kutubu. Sorry about the echo or the background.
No problem, boss. No problem, sir.
I don't know. I listen a program, but not to this radio station, not to this TV station. You be doing.
No, that's right. Yeah, na view is like I did elsewhere.
Yes, and your co-panel, you guys, when I talk about something very, very, I don't know if you guys are not aware of it or I really want. It's about Australian and politics. I don't know if I will able to make comments here because I don't get opportunity for make comments over there.
Well, in a political history, they do now. So if you're able to talk something where they are around something that we also will find a way to history when the politics is although we will answer them within a reasonable time. Other people they say get for call. So
then
they could put out to the good today.
Because I don't hear you. You call not even talking, but is it lawyer Shilon?
Okay, we get the Shilon there, we get Fadima there, we get few of
He
you.
spends a huge amount of time in the try for portray the present government as tribal one tribe ruling the whole country. And I believe say lawyer Shilon not be really or most of them want to make this comment then not really aware the immediate past government of APC.
Okay, bro, give me 1 second, back. Give me 1 second. That is something. 1 second. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
I will really indulge you if you give me your number and a call on Sunday local viewers. I will make them say somebody don't come with express concern. I will make her a priority for call you. So that because whatever I'm not going to defend Shilong now, and unfortunately, you're not a part of Unity Broadcasting. So I don't go. Do you say I take Gilly go and I will beg you? If you, I will give me number.
I will give you number to you after the.
Yes.
Let's just make a comment. It will be the benefit of the whole story, and all know what happened. The immediate pass of Anes by Kuruma in Regime. Because always at the area, people they talk about Medicare and Medicare government. But people don't forget say the immediate past regime. The three arms of government, what would they talk about? The judiciary, the executive, and the legislation. It was all headed by one region. Have people forgotten about that? Abdullah Sham, Anes by Kroma, and Bundu. Hello?
Are they listening, sir? Are they listening?
Yes, one region headed the three arms of government. And they go unchecked. And nobody made a big deal about it. Here's the government who came. They made sure they distributed the three arms of government in the three regions. And the East doesn't have nothing. Nothing other than the East. But they see someone, forget me, a political Jimmy, they call this government a medicrat, this dominated by Mende. But even when they call somebody Kalon, it doesn't mean that Kalon, most of the Kalons, 90% of the Kalons are from the Mandingos. They call somebody Sese. They mislead people that they call Kanja Sese as a Mende man. Come on. Mr. Shuron, anyway.
Give me, if you can give me your number.
Because I feel say I'm not be getting tremendous respect for.
Yeah, do you answer? If you can give me your number.
I don't begin tenting in credibility.
Okay.
To you so that really.
Yeah, give me your number. So me go call you. I'll call you. Then you can. So if you give me your number now, you dictate that to me quick before I'll take the next call. I will make come. So that way we will discuss on it.
Go ahead, Kutubu.
Next caller, who said they call from?
No
waiting
caller.
a contribution.
No caller, go ahead.
All right, so like we talk, thanks, brother. So you call with our viewers, by God, Mr. Shino Gulidi. Like we say, it's unfortunate where academia don't veer from the pedestal of grace to the abyss of irrelevance that the country where waiting the happen now, where they produce warehouse of functional illiterate, a sea of ignoramus system, we simply not be able to function. And this is not good. Because when you don't get all of the, high-sounding grades, then you don't get you count Division 1 in GC, advanced level, you get the best results, but all not to through hard work, not through, gimmicks and everything, you go college again, you graduated with upper class Division 1, honors, everything. But then when a new job now for you, going to perform, that's a terrible disservice to the nation. Terrible. Because you know able to perform. And what did happen? The progress of the society is being held back. Because you're able to get square pegs and round holes. Just then yesterday or the first now they say the ACC don't crack down or they don't arrest somebody where they manipulate, exams. How can you do this? You say when they do that for that person, when they do, you know they help her. You know they help her. Because what you do, now false narrative with the game. You the game all the impressive credentials they are so. But then when you turn around, the person is blank, you know, able help himself. So the corruption way the administration we talk about, is there in every layer of society, every layer. Now that make way we open up, we start up with commending the judge for where you don't order the arrest and detention of Mr. Tambadauda. You know, you can also there's going to be even charges after this. This is not just the disrespect of we issue to the court. It's going to follow with some, charges. We will be very serious on that. So as we wrap up, we get about 5-10 more minutes for a wrap this program. But as we wrap up, we get one for tell Mr. Obama, Boku thank you. Mr. Obama taking moral position. He talks in, he says, he wants, for continue. He talks say, if he stand election, he will win. But the caveat where he did it, he said no. He said because the laws of this country don't will permit that. Meaning that he advise, they told what leaders say, elect how smart you be. You cannot see yourself like that, the be all and end all. You alone not get the solutions to the country problems, and not to you alone. These offices, office of being the president, office of being the prime minister, office of being this, they are never divine rights, neither not to circumstantial freedom for them. Now, an honor and privilege with fellow citizens, they invest in you, in somebody. Therefore, they put limits where for make you daily, so that the other, the other and the citizen go daily. Now the highest offices where every citizen they hope for daily, but when they take turns for daily, when they take turns, when your turn don't go, no inequity they tell you, no, partner, you're not the best. Like, no. Yes, I like that. I let the accolade that don't give me. I let the trust about, we are a nation of laws. That's what we laws say. In as much as have you handed it, but we laws say no, and for the truth term. If you look at the entire African politics, the one man way they greatly get respect for, way the way people they get respect for, let God give them eternal rest. Then I'm next Mandela. If anybody they will be for be a tyrant, will be for be a dictator, will for be a six-type leader, leading Mandela, and he would have been justified. But guess what? He came there just for one term. Even though, yes, the law permits him for 6 elections, but he gave it up. So the man was not actuated by the vanity, the sheer vanity for power. But this cannot be said. Look at Mr. Conde. Mr. Conde, you are 80 plus. I mean, I don't know if that because of the idleness, that Africa where the leader, the job, then they did it for pleasure, for the law of it, the protocol, the grandiloquent titles and whether they get something like that. In the United States, believe me, after one term, the second term now, the job not begin against you. Because the pressure of the work, you they go inside the job here, you young. Everybody they say, where Obama became, Obama was a young, handsome looking man. But look that man there. Look how they look. The pressure of the work. Now that made the founding fathers and the people who were the laws of the country, they said, we are just in 2 times number. Now made they even make sure so they even get a government hospital now once on a while where the leaders say for go there, let them go, psychologically, mentally, let them join there. Now they get a place now for the president. Once and for go rest. Once they call and Camp David, you got to take off this job for go rest. Yes, the job they count a lot of things there. You get nice airplane where they ride, you get nice house where they all they say, but within all that day, You get a lot of other constraints there. They get for cope with again, and then the freedom we don't get. Because when you don't become a leader in an kind country as so, you not a commodity for the people there. Until you leave that office there, you belong to the people there. Now then they regulate your life. Not to you they regulate. When I hear the people they talk about the privacy, oh that man they invade the privacy. Oh, and they go say, no, there's not like privacy. Now I mean they put people say, "Uda no one monkey still church and not go monkey dance." When you don't say you possible way very hard they call them, or you're so obsessed about your privacy, not hold their office. But once you hold their office, there's no privacy. The only time we get privacy now, two sides you get them, where you go to the restroom, or where you don't lock your bedroom, where you don't lock that door. But when you see don't clean, you come out, you kind of parlor. From the parlor now, because the parlor is a general place. Say you can't know you step there, you go beside the motorcar, you go to your office. There's nothing like privacy. So, my people, I just want to thank you today for we come join this program here. So, we'll come discuss this thing we happen now, Guinea. And the thing is, like I say, it's not supposed to happen. But when all else fails, the citizens get now they fall back that's the fall back. The only thing I want to pray God for, let the new leader that will come within a reasonable time. Let they try establish democratic structures them where govern by the rule of law. Where that the rule of law, now they can go where they will get divided offices. Then you get the president in your office, you get the parliament, and then you get the court system. They call it checks and balances. Let everybody they checkmate. Then nobody know they call it runaway power. Then no one person no become so powerful that it become the society. No. This may not happen in Africa. Now that means the only thing they are in Africa, the president. You never hear they talk about the parliament. And when you look at the thing, the parliament and the supreme body, who's again today the president subject to parliament. He answerable to parliament. But Africa, I don't know why that the other way around. Now, the president, the president don't spend no money in this country when the Congress not approve of it. No way. The president don't they put nobody in a job now where the Congress not get the authority. It's not possible. Once the law say, that's what the law say. Now make the parliament as a whole, now 2 jobs they get, you hold investigations and hearings. But we on parliament then, and that's no more, they got sorry for them. So the bad governance now there we third world country in Africa, the parliament they set the corner them, not they step up to the responsibility and the courts and so. So now that make waiting happen today in the courts. Virtually everybody gladly because one time this way they know order the arrest and detention of somebody because they suspend the courts. So I want again invite you that next Tuesday by God power when they come back with more interesting things then. We will talk about political history, we will talk about governance, we will talk about everything. But we want to invite you now next Tuesday, same time, 3 o'clock, Kutubu Koroma, then will be the presenter for political history, where the broadcaster now the famous Unity broadcasting. This place now will all get some. We look forward to seeing that. That contribution is very valuable. Because without now Unity broadcasting, it will never exist. It will never. Now, because of that, I want to thank you very much for the audience. And by God power, we will see that next Tuesday. You guys will have a very blessed and pleasant good evening.
Unity Broadcasting Television don't come for unify, sensitize, and inform Salon people home and abroad. Broadcasting TV don't come. For developments now we come to easy. Unify, sensitize, and inform we all. For developments now we nation salon. Unity Broadcasting TV don't come. For developments now we come to easy. Unify, sensitize, and inform we all. For developments now we nation salon. We now independent media house. We dey here for unify, sensitize, and inform. Sierra Leoneans home and abroad.
We dey here so for talk, but waiting they happen. Political discussion, if for no but salon politics. Religious messages, entertainment self no go left again. We no go left nothing again.